Hello, it's me. I thought I'd take a minute to just talk about this year and how this year's been, because it's been about 9 months since I made my first video saying that I was going travelling, that I was quitting my job, and that I was trying to go and find a bit of happiness in the world. And it's been a hell of a year. It really has. And so many things have happened that I honestly never thought would. I'm here in gorgeous Cornwall at the moment, and I think this is probably symptomatic of the changes that I've made of this year, and in a good way, because what I've done is I've prioritised doing things that keep me happy, that keep me busy, that make me want to go and do more things. And I realise the more I think about it that was what the problem was before. And I know we all do it, and it sounds quite self-pitying, but I think everybody is in that situation at points. And it's that feeling of waking up in the morning and just thinking, God, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here. And I just mean that in the most basic sense of having to just get up, put the clothes on, go to work. Like, get on the tube, go to work. It's raining, it's cold, it's whatever it might be. But this has been a hell of a year. And when I think where I started in London at the end of December, thinking, what am I doing with my life? I've just quit my job. Oh my God. To where I went after that. I went skiing for a month. That was incredible. That was my gift to me, I think. And I loved it. Me and a friend just went and rented a flat out in the Alps, skied non-stop for a month. I only drank twice in a ski resort in a month. That's pretty mental, isn't it? Then I went to Paris, then Ukraine, Ecuador. That was amazing. Climbed a mountain. That's my first mountain. Whitewater rafting in the flash floods. Quad bikes through the Andes. What else did we do? And that was just amazing, actually. And that was travelling with Adam. The Galapagos Islands, man, that's a hell of a place. That's something that I never thought. I mean, could you imagine telling yourself now, I'm going to be in the Galapagos Islands in a month's time? It's absolutely nuts when you think back on it. That's the place that we looked at on David Attenborough documentaries, and it was honestly like living in a David Attenborough documentary for a few weeks. You just run down the road in the blistering heat and humidity, and you can't see anything for miles, right? It's small islands. You just look out and there's nothing, and there's quite a feeling of aloneness. It was quite, and there's some poetic things in there somewhere, but I don't really know how to deal with that. And just a volcano erupting in the distance, and you'd run through the mangroves, and there was just a giant tortoise that's 150 years old, just plods out in front of you. And then you'd get into the water, and giant sea turtles would be swimming past, to the point that you saw so many of them that you thought, oh, it's just another turtle. Well, I didn't, but I know a lot of people did, and for me that's just nuts, because it's been a dream of mine and a life goal to swim with turtles in the Galapagos since I saw it on a David Attenborough documentary as a kid. So I've done it, which is a huge achievement. Yeah, I went to Ukraine. That was really interesting, incredible. And I'm sad that I didn't get to see as much of the country as I wanted, but you've just got to be realistic about the risks involved with doing it. I think I'm going to go back though, so watch this space. After the Galapagos Islands, I went back to Ecuador very briefly, and then it was my 35th birthday. And on my 35th birthday, I flew to Costa Rica with a bit of a hangover, it must be said. Thank you, Mr. Goodenough, for taking me out for drinks on my birthday the night before a flight and making sure that I felt absolutely rotten the whole day. So I landed in Costa Rica with a terrible hangover, got a taxi to the bus station, having waited in the airport, which is the most expensive place in the world, by the way, for about 8 hours. I then got a taxi to the bus station, got a bus at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, up to Nicaragua. And Nicaragua was utterly wild. And I met some amazing people in Nicaragua, and I'm sure some of them are watching this, and it was loose. I mean, it was so loose. And we did 2 weeks there, Semana Santa. Now, if you want to know how Easter should be celebrated, in the UK, Easter is chocolate eggs and roast lamb. In Nicaragua, it is a whole bunch of other things. All the restaurants on the beach build temporary stages and DJ booths and everything out onto the beach. And you party non-stop. And do they bring the noise, or do they bring the noise? I was out until 5, 6 o'clock every morning. It was wild. And it was hot. It was so hot. I don't think I've ever sweat so much in my life. It was like 40 degrees every day. And thankfully, I booked a hostel with air conditioning. It was great. And then after Nicaragua, I think there was a point where I just thought, this is enough. I'm not the heavy boozing guy of my 20s anymore, or my university years. And then I got a text from a friend who lives in Dubai who said, mate, I'm going to be away for a month. Do you want to go stay in my flat? So I thought, yeah, screw it, why not? So I just jumped on a plane and I flew to Dubai. And then when I was in Dubai, I met just incredible people. And again, I hope you're watching this because you guys absolutely made it just amazing for me. I went and I just joined. The first thing I did was I looked for workout groups and free workout groups, and I went and did them all. So the Menathon guys, absolute legends. The DMC guys, amazing. I met my first workout there on a beach was with a guy who then at the end of the workout went, oh, I should probably tell you now that I've actually followed you on Instagram for like 2 years. And I just went, mate, tell me that before we work out so that I am not suddenly changing everything that you think of me online. But interestingly, I then met a guy called Dale who ran the Menathon group. I looked at Dale and I thought, this guy has an interesting story. So I hassled him until we went out for a beer, and he agreed to come out for a beer. And we went out, we had a few too many beers, and he went, oh, you know I own a gym in Thailand? And I was like, mate, you should open with that, right? What do I look like I love doing? And so right then and there, he then said, do you want to go to Thailand? Do you want to go train at my gym? And so I said, yeah, absolutely. So I did. Well, first we had the floods, then we had the Dubai floods, which was crazy, absolutely mental. Never seen anything like it. I had a couple of job interviews. I got offered a couple of jobs, actually. One of which then I accepted, and then it got taken away from me like 8 days before it started because they didn't land the contract. That was a kind of a bummer. So I flew to Thailand and trained at Unit 27 for what was meant to be 2 weeks, and it was 2 months. I just loved it. And then most importantly, I got offered the chance to invest in Unit 27's expansion. And I said yes. And Dale and I have agreed that. So I'm putting some money into Unit 27, which has expanded into TK27 Dubai. And it's just a start. But very shortly, I will be part owner of a gym, which is crazy, overseas as well. So I'll never actually get to train there. And it's just the start of the story for the 27 group. I think we are going to put so much into it. It's going to be amazing. And now here I am doing adverts on social media with 50,000 people on Instagram and 100,000 people on TikTok watching what I do. And it's absolutely mad. And I've made the most amazing friends and the most amazing memories. And I really don't know what the next stage holds for me. But what I can tell you is that I am so much happier than I have ever been before. And that's not to say that it's all good and that it's all happy, because that's not true. And I still have the ups and downs. I still take my medication. And one day I will actually sit down and talk through what happened and why. The sort of pivotal moment for me that really screwed with my brain chemistry. But I'm not going to do that just yet. But life is very different now to what it was. And I couldn't be more thankful that I took the plunge. And I realise that's not for everybody, but I would suggest it to anyone. If you are in that position where you just think, what am I doing every single day? This isn't living. Then I would really, really recommend doing what I did and taking the plunge. You don't have to do it permanently. You don't have to do it full time. You certainly don't have to get into doing social media, but take the time off. I met so many people in their 30s and 40s who were traveling when I was doing it. I thought I was going to be just 18-year-olds, and don't get me wrong, there were loads of them. But it was also just people same age as me, older, doing the same thing, who were like, I have had enough of the rat race for a bit. And the thing is that with a laptop, you can go anywhere in the world. You can do anything. I was working in Thailand. It's 7 hours ahead. Okay, it's not ideal, and it's not an office job that I was doing, so it didn't have to be on UK hours completely. But I was working to American time, to UK time, Dubai time, Thailand time. So it's doable. And I just want to say that in a really long-winded way, that you are the master of your own destiny. And I know that sounds really cliched, but it's so true, because I've really discovered it this year. The opportunities that I have received this year because of taking that chance to go and do some different things have been absolutely crazy. And I'm so thankful for everybody who's helped me along the way. I really am. Because it hasn't stopped here. There are so many things that are coming online. I've signed with a protein company. I did photo shoots for Through Dark, who were the company who I emailed out of the blue to say, hey, look, I'm just a ex-military guy with a bit of a mental health problem. He's going to go climb a mountain. Could I borrow some clothes? And they went, absolutely, and gave me a load of clothes. And then I just went and did a test shoot for them. I didn't get it, by the way, but hey, I'll do a video on that as well, if I haven't done it already. It's cost a fortune, I'll give you that. But I've been to war zones. Well, I've been to a war zone. I've been to a country under martial law. And then I've been to quite the opposite. I've been to countries underwater, Thailand, Dubai. I've spent a lot of time underwater in the Galapagos, nearly in the rivers in Ecuador. Been to the edge of the Amazon jungle. Been into the Pacific. That's the first time I've been into the Pacific. I've bought microphones because I've been making money on social media. I mean, I'm making money on social media. What on earth? What life is this? I really don't know. But the biggest thing I want to say is thank you to everybody who's watching these videos, because you all gave me so much motivation and so much support. And I didn't know if I was making the right choice. I still don't know if I've made the right choice. And everyone tells me I haven't made the right choice, especially my dad. He just sends me links to recruiting agencies. And I want you guys to understand truly and deeply from the absolute bottom of my heart. You have all been so supportive the whole way through, and it's given me so many boosts when I needed them, to know that people were rooting for me to succeed and for things to work. And it sounds so strange because, I don't know you guys and you don't know me. I mean, I'm sure you feel like you know bits of me, and I really hope that that's how it's come across, because that's what I want. I want you to know me and to see my story, because I want it to go out and help people, or just to be interesting. But equally, you have lifted me up so much over the last year. Like, you really have. And it's just been phenomenal. From a man who a few years ago went to throw himself off a bridge, to now being able to sit here on a Thursday afternoon with this incredible view behind me. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a hell of a year. And it's just getting started. And I just want to thank you all. I really do. You're the most amazing people. And to anyone who's thinking out there that maybe everything's a bit too much, I can promise you it's not, man. I promise you it's not. There's so many things you can do to just take the time away from it. Understand what it is that's getting you down, that's giving you a hard time, that's making life seem less enjoyable, because life should be enjoyable. Right? Life is hard, but it should be enjoyable. And life on hard mode or easy mode doesn't really make a difference, I don't think. I think the point is that there are going to be tough times and there are going to be easy times. But at the end of the day, like, we're just a bunch of animals sitting on a rock. And we've made all this stuff for ourselves. But what's the point in having all the stuff if you don't get to see the rest of the rock? Does that make sense? But I want to also say that I think the biggest conclusion I've come to this year is that I have no desire to be in that rat race again. But not only that, I have no desire to be sort of this crazy rich person. And I think it might sound silly, but I think it's one of those realizations that people need to have, is whether or not they want to be stinking rich or if they don't. And I am totally happy with not being stinking rich. I know that we all think about it when we're younger and older, but I don't want that, because I've been so close to unhappiness that for me the only thing that matters is happiness. If I can put food on the table and I can wake up each morning wanting to be there, I'm good. I'm so good. So yeah, thank you. Thank you all. That was probably quite rambling, but I mean it. I mean all of it, every single word. You guys have genuinely supported me the whole way through, and I can't thank you enough.